So I get a bunch of songs from these songwriters. Now I have like 8 songs. So now I can actually do a show. I have enough material. And you know, I pick a couple of songs. I pick like You Better Run, and you know, a couple of other cover songs that would be interesting sung from a female point of view. You know, because I have the idea. I know what I want to do. I want to be Robert Plant. I don't want to be Linda Ronstadt. I love her. I don't want to be singing If You Break My Heart and all this stuff. I don't want to be singing that. I want to be saying, don't you break my heart, you know, like you're gonna die. So I just want to be, I want to be him, or I want to be Lou Gramm. So I decided to start switching gender on a bunch of songs that are cover songs, and then I pick songs that they're writing that come from another perspective as a female. I'm telling you, get out of my face, you know? So I finally get a showcase at this place called Tramps. You know, the first night it was my parents and my friends in the audience, and that night somebody from the Post was there, and they wrote this incredible review, like my parents wrote it, and the next day all the record companies came down, and the line was around the block, and the guy who owned Tramps was just kissing me because now he couldn't get the people in the door. There were so many people.
This is that review from the New York Post, March 30th, 1978. The headline reads, "A Career Catching Fire." The music critic wrote, "Her fiery rock soprano and exotic looks have gathered good notices the way children collect dandelions in the spring, by the bunch." It became a defining moment in Benatar's career. She was headed in the right direction. She signed with a record label and even cut an album. But she wasn't happy with the results. She knew something was missing.
We signed and we made a record, and it was crap. And I thought, oh, that's it. I've worked for 3 years. I got signed, and I'm done. It's over. And it was garbage. And I just knew that I needed some kind of foundation. I couldn't get where I had to go because I didn't have enough of a bed underneath in order to do all those raucous vocals that I wanted to do. It was a lot more than, you know, a guy on a piano and some guy playing rhythm guitar. I needed like big sound. I knew that. I just didn't know what to do, but I figured it was the guitar player. I figured that. I want Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. I want Keith and Mick. I don't want to be like a solo artist. I want a partner, you know what I mean, so that we can play off each other.
The record company agreed to redo the record, but this time they called upon big-time music producer and songwriter Mike Chapman to help craft Benatar's new sound.
I'm sitting with Mike back in Los Angeles now. We're in Los Angeles, and I'm talking to him, and I'm explaining to him one more time my litany of what I'm trying to achieve here. Like, could someone please help me do this? And I'm telling him, I don't want, you know, I want a partner. I want a male partner so that we can play off each other like that. He goes, I got your guy. I'm like, you do? He goes, yeah, he's 22 years old. He's playing with Rick Derringer. I just did a record with Rick, and he's playing with him. And he's really young. He's really good looking. He plays amazing. He plays piano. I think he can like do the whole thing. Let me hook you guys up. Let's you know, get a meeting between you. I'm like, okay.
Received the call, and he says, there's this person that's just got signed to a record deal, and they're looking for a partner. This person's looking for a partner, a partnership. And I said, well, maybe I heard of him. What's his name? They go, it's not a him, it's a her. And I go, oh my God, it's a her? How is this gonna work out? You know, I love women, you know. This is gonna be tough, difficult.
Now you have to understand now, I have a record deal. I'm like a little cocky. I'm thinking, okay, like I got a record deal, you know. And he's playing with Rick Derringer, but he doesn't have a record deal. So he's coming down, I'm gonna meet him. I'm in the room, and they say, Neil Giraldo's here. And I have my back to the door because I'm talking, and I go, oh, okay, well, just tell him to hang on, I'll be right there. Like a brat, you know? So I'm not looking at him, and he comes down, I can hear him talking, and I hear him say that he didn't bring a guitar. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what an ass. He comes here, he's like coming for a meeting. Doesn't he think I want to hear him play? He doesn't even bring his axe. I'm like, God. So I turn around ready to just like him, you know, like that, and I turn around and I see him, and I'm like,
when she turned around, I saw it for the first time, and then he says, oh, here's Pat, here comes Neil. She turned around, I'm going, wait, she's 5'1". I love short women. She's got dark hair. And then she started talking, and she was super sweet. And I looked around thinking, I've never been with a normal girl in my life, and this person's so normal, so sweet. As a girl from Long Island, she's a Long Island girl.
It was like every cliched, ridiculous Disney movie thing you ever saw in your life. I couldn't even talk. I saw him, he was a god. I just was like, I don't care if he can play. He's in the band.
Something snapped like, where have you been? That's the first thing I thought of. Where have you been my whole life? I told Patricia after our first date, I go, you want to get married? She goes, you're ridiculous, get out of here. I mean, right away, I knew it. I knew right away. I says, you're the perfect girl for me.
It was nuts. It was crazy. The attraction was so stupid. And I mean, first of all, just the physical attraction and that whole thing, but the musical thing, the minute he played one note, he strummed the guitar once, and I like woke up, you know, like out of the stupor I was in, and realized like, whoa, this is exactly, because it was so full. It wasn't so much that it was loud, but it was big, and it was like, it was raw, and it was, you know, he was just, it was ridiculous.
What has been the most critical time in the marriage? I mean, I can see all kinds of pressures
Correct.
on a marriage such as yours. It doesn't
Right.
take much imagination to imagine tremendous pressure.
Understood.
Has there been a time when you thought to yourself, I think it's over?
Yeah, well, what happened was we weren't married from day one, but we were together in September of 1979. So before we even hit the stage, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. We were already attached, okay? So now we had this professional business going, and we were doing phenomenal. We were doing great, selling out. We went from clubs to theaters to arenas. I mean, we were just rocking. So I live by the motto, the mantra that Ronald Reagan said, and I'll paraphrase this. He says, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish if you don't care about who gets the credit. So I live by that. I feel I'm gonna work 24 hours a day on this project. I'm gonna do everything I can, write the best songs I can, produce the best records I can do, everything. Because I don't care who gets the credit. I want it to be great. But not everybody had the same playbook. So since the playbook got into other people's hands and it wasn't the correct one, they made it really difficult for me. They wanted power, and they saw that I was controlling the ship because it was working. Things were going great, and they didn't like that.
But they were hired as manager, what have you.
Managers, record company, attorney for the other side. And they would make conflict for the wife and I. We'd be normally talking about music, and then now we're talking about the business, and that was a bad thing. And it got to the last straw. I think it was 1981, and I had a #1 record with Rick Springfield. I had us. We were up there. I think our album was #1. All these things were going great. People were asking me to produce. It was just flying. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I should just leave. You know, maybe we should just call it a day and say, listen, we did really good up till now, and let's just end it. So I went to New York, started working on their John Waite record, and I woke up one day and I went, no, this is insane. I got to marry. So I called her up and said, you want to get married? She says, what took you so long? So, and that was it.